Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hi.
What's up?
Oi, Joy.
Hey, Bob.
What's that all about?
You didn't like my plan.
Oh, God. I knew it was going to come up.
And so now
You're going to tell the
I'm
world?
pouting. Yes. The world already knows that often when Bob and I go out in public, we are assumed to be a couple. And I thought it was a brilliant plan. I said I wanted more drama in my life. And so I feel like the next time we're at a meal, I just want to start complaining to the waiter or waitress like I've seen on all my favorite reality shows. Talk about how you don't listen to me. You don't compliment me.
Not like it was in the beginning.
Not like it was in the beginning. You're already rolling your eyes. You know what I mean? And just
You gave
really,
me vertigo from that.
I did. And so I was really just living my best victim dreams, and you didn't support it. That's all. I mean, I already looked past all of the online dating that you do. Isn't that enough?
Oh, segue. Online dating or Tinderoni,
Yes.
as you want to call this episode.
Why it gotta be a Tinder?
Roni. You want to explain to the children's what a Tinderoni is?
Well, no, I'm just gonna explain.
Only Tinderonis can give you certain love.
Listen. Children can Google Tinderoni, and Candy Rain. They can Google lots of things, but I came up with this idea,
right?
Because I felt Bob has a superpower, and I want Bob to share this with the world. I wanted to do a podcast that's like dating for the mere mortal.
Oh my God.
Because I've heard you complain over the years, but you are really successful at it.
I mean, when you look like a model.
No, but truly.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes there have been times where you have not felt that it's been going as fast as you wanted to, which I get when you're in it. But from my standpoint, I'm like, there's never a drought over there. So I just thought you could kind of pass along some hints, tricks,
some
tips.
Tricks. That's a double play.
I know.
Double entendre.
You see, I paused. I was like, this isn't going to come out the way I meant it. But nonetheless, and Tinder is like the biggest of them. Obviously, that's maybe not the one you're on the most, but
Tinder is the biggest for the heteros.
True, which also by stats would make it the most popular.
Oh,
right or wrong. You know what?
I mean, somebody's got to.
I didn't make it a het world.
There has to be some place for all those pictures of guys holding fish.
There does.
And plenty of fish apparently is not it.
No.
But. Okay, so I mean, I feel like there's going to be questions, but we had this discussion earlier, then we just stopped the discussion. But initially, you said you're on a couple of the apps, right? And so I thought that I would, for your info, and the world's info, let you know that I am currently utilizing 10.
It's 10?
10.
You said 8. We found more.
I forgot that one. I mean, well, there's a couple of newer ones that I've not met people from. But so 8 I've actually had.
Okay, let me see if
situations.
I can guess. So
I got a new go on, it'll come back to entanglements.
Ooh.
Entanglements.
Awesome.
Somebody told me that the other day.
So Tinder, which is the biggest for the hets. Grindr, which is the biggest for the gays.
Right.
Bumble. Are you on Hinge?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Cupid, is that still a thing? Okay, that's the end.
None of
my
the rest of
knowledge.
them are for straight people. Well, I mean, there are for straight people because obviously I sleep with a lot of them. But Tinder, Bumble, Grinder, Hinge, Scruff,
Yes, you've told me about Scruff.
Growler. Because I'm fat, bigger city. There's also U-Bear, which is also for dating bigger people. Timey,
Okay.
which is supposed to be a very high-end kind of thing. Like, you even have to pay if someone messages you. You have to pay to, like, every interaction.
Oh, wow.
You barely, like, every now and then it'll be like you matched this person 4 months ago, or we'll finally let you talk to them kind of thing. But it puts you into a money prison. Then technically Facebook has dating now.
Okay.
So I have, other than that timey, whatever, and U-Bear, I have met someone from each one of those apps.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So you got the knowledge.
So the knowledge.
Help the people.
So what kind of, okay, so obviously a lot of these have crossover situations where it's the same people on the same apps. But some people are like, Grindr is so disgusting. I won't use Grindr. They're on Scruff.
Okay.
And or Tinder.
Okay. So let's, for 1 second, I've got to guess these are the top 3 in the queer world: Grinder, Scruff, and Growler.
Growler's not a top one.
It's not. It sounds
No.
so awesome.
I don't.
would be on Growler.
There's
if I was
Jacked.
Jacked.
Yeah, Jack, like the name with a apostrophe D.
Yeah, of course. Somehow without you saying it, I knew how it was spelled.
Gay people can't spell correctly.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so Growler's
And Scruff is called Scruff because it's supposed to be for people who are hairier, who have beards.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be like a specific type of person. Yeah, but there's it's utilized by all. But there are some people that I entangle with that only use Scruff.
Okay. This is we don't have to discuss it right now if you don't want to.
No, we'll discuss everything. I don't care what people know about me.
No. I was just going to say, one of the things that maybe you could help hetero women with, because I know that you have interacted with individuals who identify themselves as straight.
Correct.
And then that is not the kind of sex they are looking for.
Correct.
So, how, given what you know and what you've seen on Tinder and other places, how can you help little Peggy Sue, who is so naive and does not know the red flags she should be looking for to live her best cishet life?
So Peggy Sue only wants to mate someone on Tinder that's not going to possibly have gay sex with somebody else.
Right, while pursuing her.
While pursuing. Okay, so
I mean, let's say she's progressive and she doesn't care if that person is bi, but she doesn't want somebody who's saying they're straight, and then she's going to be like, "Oh, I think I'm with this person," but that's not true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So first of all, Peggy, good luck. So the thing I think the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand about Tinder is that so obviously on my Tinder it says that I want to meet men as a man wanting to meet men. So Tinder does not. I think Tinder is in it with DL straight guys because Tinder shows me all men. Not just men who want other men.
Okay. So it's a setup from the
so it's
beginning.
already a setup from the beginning. So if I swipe right on a guy, and then his profile says he's straight, I could show you the list
no.
of guys that are straight on the app that have also swiped right.
Yeah. Oh, I know it's happened. That's why I know you can speak.
Yeah, and so a lot of times those guys that I have met from Tinder are never had sex with a guy before, always wanted to try something out. Like, so I don't know what happens after our entanglement. If they go back to Peggy Sue and never think about, I don't have a rating system on Yelp. I've discussed that before. I'd love to have one. But, sometimes they come back, as Stephen King wrote a book about, and sometimes they don't. So,
But that's a lie. Like, I would imagine 7 to 8 times out of 10 that, I've never done anything with that feels like a lie. It feels like a lazy lie.
Well, but the thing of it is a lot of times, I say sometimes they don't come back. A lot of times I don't find out they never had sex with a man until the second time.
Ah! Aha.
Because they'll say, "Oh, well, you did this to me for the first time. I've never had that before." And so, because of talent and skill, they do come back. So, Peggy Sue,
you're screwed.
I think you need to will yourself into drive through a very small town, because Tinder's based on your geolocation. Swipe all the rights you can on some local farmers, and then get your matches there and bring him back to the big city.
I would have loved to see that you were on farmersmeat.com or something.
I've thought about that. I don't know, because we've talked about how I have this whole thing about imposter syndrome, which has nothing to do with this, but I would never have a job that I'm not qualified for, because I would have issues just in my brain, I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't do that.
Right.
And I don't usually have any kind of feelings like that, in general. I'm open about my sexuality. I go where I want to go. No one's gonna hold me back. I'm white.
No one's gonna hold you down.
I can be as loud as I want, and no one's gonna arrest me. So I definitely utilize that privilege to be gay and white and in everyone's faces. But I don't know. I feel like I would have imposter syndrome on a farmer situation. Although I did live on a farm, so technically, if someone asks me about buying animals and selling them at a higher price, I can give them a 15-minute.
I was like, you've got facts tucked away. You can fake it, but okay, I get you.
As I forced Joy into a conversation about farm commodities,
yes. I was
and all the knowledge I had on purchasing
that's
animals.
That's not where I thought the conversation was going, but it happened.
But if I have knowledge and I haven't used in a while, it has to come out somehow, or I'll get a pimple.
So what are your best maybe dating is not the correct word. What are your best tips for somebody who wants to be successful in increasing their body count, who might be feeling insecure, hesitant, is actually genuinely new to the game?
Right.
What are the best tips, regardless of who that person is or what they're looking for, that you got?
So my tip would be a tip actually that Cardi B put into a lyric of a song recently. I won't say the first word. Obviously, it's not a word for me to use. But love a toxic bitch. And that is a true statement. Okay. What works for me is very much, I don't need your dick. You want me, somebody will be like, do you want to do this? My response is, I can. Okay. I don't need it. I don't need you. But we can hook up. But it's not because I want it. right?
Okay.
So that's my approach to everything.
So make them chase it some.
Make them chase it some. Like, a lot of people message me and they'll say, like, oh, like, you know, I thought you were out of my league, or you're snobby or something like that. And it's all true. But then I'm like, why would you think of such a thing? Like, why would you?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I am very self-centered, and I think my whole thing is, what do you want out of your body count? I guess that's where my question is. So, like, when I want some certain type of sexual act, I have different people for those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I sleep with a new person every other day. Insert laugh track. But but I mean, there's people that I've hooked up with. There's a guy I hook up with, and we've hooked up every single week for an entire year. Long-term relationship people.
That's consistency, folks.
There's one guy that, like, we've literally been hooking up for 4 years.
Yes.
Just recently had our anniversary. And so, I mean, like, there's, I have regulars.
When you call them regulars.
Some pay. Just kidding. I wish. That would be even better if it was more of a lucrative job. But, yeah, if it's going to be a job, you got to get cash. And that's another thing. If you don't, like, I don't know. Like, men want to have sex, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think Peggy Sue needs to understand that.
Well, even if it's not Peggy Sue, what if it's anybody who's afraid to go? Because this is a stigma in both the straight world and the gay world. No fatties.
Right.
How do you get somebody to overcome, like, the fear that they're going to be inundated with that to really still move forward and get their sex game on?
I think acknowledging the situation, like most of my dating profiles say, yes, I am the age that it says, because people constantly ask me, are you really 46, blah, 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 blah. Are you really overweight? So I say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by saying that cuts out anybody who's not going to be interested in you.
Okay.
So, like, that's, I think, being very upfront about it. I don't think I need to be like big body girl, body positivity. I don't feel like that gets anywhere, because I don't know. I feel like sometimes body positivity comes off more like snooty than it does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, so we've got 2 so far. Maybe if we got a third, because I've got be upfront, and you can't want it. So, like,
yeah. So just play it, because the thing is, like, I also have on my dating profiles that my kink is short, direct messages.
I remember that. Now that you say it.
So, I mean, I prefer people to not be like, how's your day going? Where do you work? Blah, 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 blah. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, most people in these apps they don't care where you work. And then in my brain, that's the way it comes out. Like, you don't really care.
See, and I feel that something is happening when you're on there. Now, I'm not on any internet dating.
She's on Grindr.
The shudder of it all. No, the shudder of online dating. I probably could do okay on Grindr.
Probably could.
But here's the thing. My kink, I just realized hearing you say yours again, is complete sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I often get is the abbreviations of it all. If I see one more WYD, I think I told you this when I was still in the world, right?
Yeah.
I was like, ugh, nothing makes me more incensed than WYD. I hate it. Just making up things like HBU. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And, like, with the amazing fluctuation of the English language, like, I don't say how about you. I will say, I'm doing good, you, question mark. So that it is like a back and forth, I'm not trying to teach anybody how to use English, period. But um yeah, I definitely understand that, because there are things that I absolutely are like red flags for me on dating apps. If someone says they like to get freaky, they don't like to get freaky at all. What they like is regular vanilla sex, but they don't get it enough to comprehend that it's just sex. So they call it freaky or freak. I'm a freak. You're not a freak.
Okay.
You like your balls licked? Everybody likes their balls licked. Straight guys, wash your balls. Again, PSA for the world. As me and Joy had this conversation the other day about balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was like, are balls even really a thing? And I'm like, I don't think straight men understand how good it feels to have someone licking their balls, because if they did, they would wash said balls every chance they got.
Yeah.
So wash your entire lower region. And while you're down there, white guys, wash your legs. Because, you might not think that ashiness affects the white community. It's just you can't see it that well because we're already white. But your legs, if it looks, yeah. Anyway. And use a utensil, like a wash rag, a hard bristle brush.
I love that you called it a utensil. That's amazing.
Something that's not just your hand in a bar of soap.
Right.
Like, get in the cracks, get in the crevices, get in those pores. Because the pores is where the bacteria, rest.
You're like, do some scrubbing, spend some time.
So you thought this was just going to be about dating. It's turned into hygiene and skincare. It's always
the things are intersectionality, right?
Absolutely.
Even when it comes to being online.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any absolute no-nos?
I do not enjoy people asking to eat my shit.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
And surprisingly, it happens more than I would expect.
Okay.
And it's not just me. It's the thing. And I get that I'm not kink shaming at all, but just like I don't like the thought of it personally. So I think there's some things that you don't jump off with.
Right. Doesn't that feel like that's like down the line?
That's like a couple dates in. Yeah.
It's not a couple dates.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Further.
Right. Maybe further.
You're like, okay. I forget. You have a different timeline. That's fine.
Yeah. I have a timeline. I'm busy. I'm in between things. That's always something to say. Always something to say. If you want to control the situation on the dating app and in a hookup situation, always say, I just finished this. I'm about ready to do this. You've got so much time. And men will comply, because what else are they going to do? Right? I mean, that's the truth of it. If they want it, they'll fit in that time slot. I'm all about scheduling things.
Okay.
Like, I would prefer to have a schedule. Like, I really envy, like, high paid, call girls and sex workers where they have a journal of times and they know when they meet this person, once a week types. Would love to have that. Because, I'm a verse person, so I top and bottom. So that's why you got to have different decks of cards for different games. And so
that's amazing.
So,
I keep trying to think of the word. It's like, it's not a repertoire, but it's like when you're saying you have a whole team, but there's a word for it. It won't come to me. Anybody's at home listening, just shout it out.
Shout it out. Maybe we can hear you. I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, because there's like the thing is, like, we've talked about this personally before, but I don't trust everybody to do everything that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I trust the people who have executed properly in the past. So if I want this certain type of thing, I would rather have that person do it that I know can successfully do that.
Right.
Because it's still about time.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Okay, this is my last question. I'm gonna let it go.
Okay.
How have you, if somebody attempts to do an act and you're like, oh, that was horrible. Like, how do you, if you want to continue hooking up with that person, let them know you are no good at XYZ?
I mean, how should you or how have I?
Maybe let's talk about how have you.
I mean, I have in the past had people be like, you know, the worst thing possible is to, I don't know the right term. I'm not sensitive to my time. So, like, that's my big number one thing. So if you are like, we're going to hook up and then you ghost me and we don't do it, the next time you want to, you're going to hear about the last time.
Okay.
So I will be like, you fucked with my time, blah, 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 blah. It's a, like, you get 5 minutes to get here situation. Like, there's repercussions for fucking with my time. One person, I let them know that their dick wasn't shit because they fucked with my time twice. And then they were like, oh, well, you like this. And I was like, no, your shit ain't shit. Like, literally. I can get bigger. I can get thicker. Like, it ain't, and I can get anybody. Like, that thing. Like, I can get other people. I don't need you. So, like, if someone approaches me like that, like, I need them, that ain't cute. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do people like, sup.
Sup is another one. Oh, sup.
I mean, I get it. It's easy.
It's lazy.
It's lazy. But the thing is, like, that's the kind of thing, like, are you really wanting to know what's up, or are you just wanting to fuck? Because, like, sometimes, like, I don't want to have a long conversation about it. Like, if that's what you want, then that's what I say direct messages are my kink. Just say what you want. Don't say, what's up, what are you up to, blah, 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 blah. Because, like,
I don't know if this is an exact correlation, but I personally feel if you're starting out the gate with sup, if you're so lazy, that's where you're beginning. You aren't going to put the work in that I'm going to need when it comes to sex. And so don't waste my time.
Yeah, and I've been kind of like, I'm sorry for anybody that may listen to this that is one of these people, but I'm kind of over the guys that just need themselves taken care of.
Thank you.
And I know women, you need to stand up and applaud to that, because women especially need more attention than what they get from men. And penetrative intercourse with a woman is not going to do it. It just doesn't cut it. And it can.
Are you putting in the work?
And is your dick worth shit? But
true.
We're not small dick shaming at all.
No.
But the thing is, just like that, like, you just want to come in and just want to fuck me and leave, like, and then I get nothing from that.
I have been preaching for the longest time. Bitches have to stop, and I literally, just the bitches, because I stay in my lane, bitches gotta stop giving out free blowjobs. Y'all gotta stop doing that shit. That is horrible. To give a man an orgasm and you get nothing, I could never. No. Here's what I'm an advocate of.
Okay.
This is what I've used in the past. If you have to negotiate, okay, you start the blowjob. You don't finish it. What are you, dumb? No, you don't finish. Now they're primed and ready. They're not turning back.
Mm-mm.
Now it's time for you to put in some work, sir.
Yeah. Clock in.
Hello.
Do your 2 to 3 minutes.
Good Lord, not 2 to 3. I can't. I don't know. I'm honestly at the point that I feel like if somebody was to try that 2 to 3 minutes and like that weak shit, I really might punch you in your fucking face. I really might.